Hi, hello everybody. This is Todd, the creator and teacher for ELO, and today I would like to go over a new activity, one of many that will be coming up soon on ELO, that teachers and students can do to practice listening. And this today we're going to look at a game called Power Grid. I call this the Listening Power Grid, and it's a really easy activity where students can use PowerPoint or Google Slides, and they'll hear the audio. And all they have to do is put the card in the right spot. So where in the time slot does the card go? So for this video, these are for shorter videos. This video is only about 4 minutes long in length total. And so the students would just have to listen and be like, okay, so where do these cards go? So on the activity page, here is the lesson. And this is an interview with my friend, Mark, who's a podcaster. And you can find out more about his podcast here, Zen Sandwich. But he talks about his podcast. And so if you want to do this listening activity, it's really easy to do. First, all you have to do is download the PowerPoint. And so if you click on this, it will open up to a box page. And then you can just go ahead and download it. And this actually comes with the answer key. And we'll show you how to go over the answers here in a minute. And then of course you might want to download the audio if you wish, or you can just play it on ELO. Some of the other activities, we actually have more activities, have a video, so you can do it with the video or audio. It doesn't really matter. All right, so let's go ahead and play the game. So it's very, very easy. So I went ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just I downloaded the audio, and so I'm going to go ahead and open this up with, let's listen to this with there it is, QuickTime Player. Okay, so I'm going to listen to it with my QuickTime Player, and notice that you can kind of follow the time. So every 20 seconds, you want to listen for the audio, listen for the words, and then put the words in the right spot. So here we go, and let's begin.
I know you love Zen, the concept of Zen. When did you start learning it?
I started learning about Zen philosophy when I was in college.
In college?
Yeah, Zen's not really a religion, but I've studied it in a religion class. It comes from Buddhism originally.
Was it a Japanese teacher?
No, but it was an Asian studies teacher, so he was an expert in Asian religions.
And what was the concept of Zen by that teacher?
Well, it's difficult to explain, but Zen is basically about...
So as you can see, pretty easy to do. We've done the first 50 seconds. So then when you're done with the first page, you can go to the second page, and here we go.
Appreciating the little moments in life and being in the present moment. You know, a lot of times we think about the future, or we spend a lot of time thinking about the past.
Okay, so when you go to the second page, there's going to be a lot of words that you're going to be able to use. I would actually stop and go ahead and read them. So if you're doing this with a teacher, you might want to stop at the class and have them, students read it. So you want to be familiar with the words before you actually start listening. So we have, it sounds corny. That's the paradox. I catch myself. It's more about. That's a great question. At some point, in essence, if it's very close to that, there's no good or bad. So now I'm kind of familiar with the words, and so now I'm ready to continue listening. And here we go.
Zen is mostly about trying to be in the right now.
Sounds like mindfulness.
It's very close to that. Mindfulness is discussed a lot in Zen philosophy.
So, is there a way to be good at Zen, or what I can do to?
I think I understand your question. There is no good or bad about it. It's really like, do you like taking a walk in nature sometime?
I love it.
Yeah, me too. And I think that in essence is Zen, is just appreciating the beauty in nature, or the wind on your face, or, the sound of the birds in the trees. It sounds a little corny, but appreciating that moment in time that's basically Zen.
So if I'm enjoying this conversation right now, that means I am in Zen?
Sure. In essence, if you're in this moment as we speak, that's a form of Zen appreciation.
Is that possible that I would be in Zen all the time if I'm able to enjoy every moment of my life?
That's a great question. I think it's sort of impossible to constantly be present. It's a good goal to aim for, but it's sort of like an unattainable goal, like a goal that you can't ever get to, because your mind is at some point going to think about tomorrow or remember something from the past.
How much of a day do you think you are in the Zen moment?
I've never calculated it like that. I don't know. Because I catch myself all the time thinking too much about the future or reliving a memory for too long. And then when I catch myself, I bring my focus back to what I'm doing at the present moment.
Sometimes I focus so much and I feel like I'm in the zone, but it's different from Zen.
Well, I don't really want to define it, because that's the paradox, or the kind of confusing thing about Zen. The more and more you try to define it, really the further away you get from it. It's not something that there are like rules that are written down and you follow these rules. It's really more about just being alive and acknowledging that, appreciating that.
Maybe we can both go to the Zen garden and see how it works.
That's good. I would love to talk to like a Zen monk or something.
Okay, so now notice I missed one here. So what I can do now is use the time code quiz. So that's at 140. And I can scoot it to there, 140, and then play and see if is that the right one? Did I get it right?
That, in essence, is Zen, is just appreciating the beauty in nature, or the wind on your face, or, the sound of the birds in the trees. It sounds a little corny, but appreciating that moment.
Right, there we go. So it sounds corny. It sounds a little corny. It sounds corny. So you put it in there, and then voila, you're done. Now, what I really like about this activity is the students are not listening for answers. They're actually noticing language. And so you can learn little phrases, ways that people word things in English, and also adjust their intonation, the rhythm of how they use these phrases when they speak. And it's a really nice way just to learn language, not so much the content. So it's kind of a fun game. Now also, you can easily check your answer. So one way is just to grab the answer keys down here and slide them down, and you can kind of just check the colors. And I can be like, okay, so it's blue, green, blue, right? So that's a good one. That's going to work. So then maybe I come to this one. It's the same thing. I can grab all of them if I want. Oh, I have to grab another one here. But anyway, I can grab it here and I could check, right? I'm on a kind of a funky keyboard here that's not allowing me to click everything. But I could actually just delete it and then just check right there and see it looks like the colors are the same. It can Control Z and it goes back and it's okay. And also for the teacher, what the teacher can do, of course, is delete these slides and give it to the students. You can do it in Google Slide, you can do it in PowerPoint, it doesn't matter. And you can go over the answers as a class. So then if you do it as a class, you can now do it in presentation mode and just click the little arrows and go through and see all of the answers if you wish. So this is the time code quiz. I like doing this with longer listening activities. I do these a lot with TED Talks. Of course, with listenings from Ello, but it's a nice way to listen and not listen just for answers, right? And also you have to listen to every section of the audio because it's broken down by time. So this really makes it so that the student has something to do for every little chunk of the listening task, and also it's kind of low stakes. It's not really that difficult to do, but it's a lot of fun. So this is the Power Grid, and this is actually one of 25 activities I have using PowerPoint. And you can use PowerPoint in edit mode like this, just like a worksheet, and it's a lot of fun. So this activity is available now on Ello. This is lesson number 1527. This is a new lesson where Mark talks about Zen. Maybe by the time you get there, I might have the video up. But for now, we have the audio, and that is how to use the Power Grid. It's a lot of fun. Give it a try, and you can go ahead and tell me what you think in the comments below. If it's an activity you'd like to do, or is it an activity that you tried and you enjoyed. Anyway, thanks a lot, and as always, thank you from Ello.